All right, so we are staying up late to record. We are stoked. As a Falcons fan, JP, not as much. We're excited to bring you winners and, of course, losers today. So stick around to find out who those are. And welcome into the Dino Construction Podcast. I'm your host, Justin, joined as always by David and JP. We are, of course, about to react to the NFL Draft Round 1. Still up. I'm drinking coffee so I could edit this afterwards. We are just doing quick gut reactions, but we are excited to bring you two winners and two losers each. So we're going to jump right in. And David, go ahead and tell me your first loser.
Yeah, this one hurts. I got McConkey as my first loser. Got to own up to it. I loved him in the process. I still think he's going to be a fun player, but not getting that round 1 draft capital really hurts.
Yeah, that's all we really know about him right now. Unfortunately, he didn't go round 1. Hopefully he goes top of the second, right there to the Bills. Maybe
Buffalo?
Maybe he can be salvaged a little bit. But yeah, not being round 1, definitely got to classify him as a loser right now. My first loser I have as Malik Nabers. Draft capital is fantastic, but I just don't love the Giants landing spot personally. Daniel Jones, I don't think he's going to be the future there. I think he's got 1 year. And then after that, I think they're just going to be searching for a quarterback, and I think it might be rough for him in year 2 and year 3. So, yeah, I just don't like the murkiness of his situation heading to the Giants here.
Yeah, could definitely see that being a murky situation. He does have the potential to volume himself because that depth chart is about, I could make the wide receiver room almost. However, the QB room, understandable. My first loser, A.D. Mitchell, very similar to McConkey. Pretty much a surefire first-round wide receiver from every mock you ever saw. Did not end up being a first-rounder, obviously. Same thing could be said if he goes to the Bills. You're excited. Just really don't like seeing that drop out of the first round. Huge, huge difference in dynasty value for all of us. So easy loser to call out there.
Yeah, basically the same as Ladd, right? My second one, and I'll preface this by saying the guy went in the top 10 of the NFL draft, and it's probably not the guy you think I'm going to say, to be honest with you. He's not the biggest loser in the world. He's sitting pretty, just made life-changing money. But I don't really like where Odunze landed. I think long-term it might be all right, but for somebody that we perceived as an elite dynasty asset as a rookie, I think he's going to have a little bit of a disappointing year, similar to JSN. We'll see where his value's at next year, but that's not really what you want to be saying about a guy that we previously thought was elite.
Yeah, that is one you are selling me on a little bit as you've been talking in the chat. Slight drop off for sure. I definitely am seeing where you're coming from there, David, and you are winning me over with that one.
Yeah, Odunze is somebody I really, really love. Admittedly, yeah, you're right. It's not my favorite spot. If I'm in a rebuild, it might be pretty nice with Caleb Williams moving forward, but that is assuming that Keenan Allen isn't back. Similar to we've talked about this, the 3 of us right before recording. Tyler Lockett, we all said, oh, he's gone after this year. And he's back. But I will say, Keenan Allen's a year and a half older than Lockett was last year. But yeah, from a year 1 production standpoint, it doesn't look fantastic. My second loser that I have is Brock Bowers going to the Raiders. I just don't love the quarterback. Same thing as the Giants. I mean, they got Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew there right now, and Michael Mayer's in that room. I mean, sure, Brock Bowers is a lot more talented. I'm not super worried about Mayer's, stealing targets away. But they also have Devontae Adams, who is, one of the best target earners in the league. Jacoby Myers is fantastic as well. I just don't really see a fantastic path for him, year 1 to produce. And then moving forward, also, I'm not super optimistic about the quarterback situation for his production as well.
Cannot disagree with that, especially from a quarterback standpoint.
Do you think you mentioned there JP Michael Mayer? He's a pretty big loser here tonight, too.
JP, while we're talking about losers, we didn't mention Penix. We thought about it just because we weren't necessarily expecting first-round draft capital, so it's a mixed bag there. Kind of hard to react to immediately. But as a Falcons fan, can we see the pain on your face? He looks like a Lions fan
buddy.
right now. That's how disappointed Lions fans usually are. Wow. I've never seen that on another team's face.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking rough. I literally told my buddy, I was like, I just don't want Penix here. That's it, and I'll be happy. Michael Penix. JJ McCarthy, I could have seen that because he's darn near 3.5 years younger than Michael Penix. I mean, sheesh, if you want to develop a quarterback, why take the 24-year-old guy who if Kirk Cousins plays out his contract for 4 years, Michael Penix will be 28 years old when he takes over the quarterback room. I mean, sheesh, he had 6 years in college. How much more development does the guy need? Oh, yeah, it's freaking frustrating. I would have been happy with Odunze. Offensive lineman, defensive lineman, I would have just anybody but Michael Penix. And I have not seen a positive reaction from anybody. Falcons fans, the NFL community, rant over. I'm moving on.
One bonus loser for sure as well. Would have definitely made our list if we expected him to be a round one quarterback. Moving on to winners. David, your first winner.
Yeah, I couldn't decide which side of the coin to call the winner, so I'm just going to say them both. I think Brian Thomas Jr. and Trevor Lawrence here are big winners. I think that's a great fit. It's what they needed in that offense. It's what Trevor needs. He might not get back up to that potential top 5 dynasty quarterback that we thought he would be, but I do think he's going to reestablish himself in that next year with this move.
As a Trevor Lawrence shareholder in a league, actually our first league together, yeah, I was pretty happy to see Brian Thomas Jr. there. And I think Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback. So, yeah, I like that BTJ got a quarterback that I believe in here. My first winner here is Caleb Williams. Man, of course, the 101, just as expected. But he gets Rome Odunze at 109 as well. And he already had arguably one of the top 5 or 10 best tandems at wide receiver with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. That trio, I mean, you could argue it's the best wide receiver room in the entire league. And they took a first-round tackle last year. Cole Kmet's solid. Man, I just think that this is amazing for his year one production and future production as well. So, yeah, I love this for him.
Yeah, I was on the fringe. Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams at the 101 in Superflex after this draft. I feel like I have to go Caleb Williams 101. Almost team need dependent just from a value perspective. Definitely will decide by our mock draft on Saturday. My first winner, JJ McCarthy. You know, time will tell how good he is going to be in the NFL. There's definitely a lot of warts on his college production. However, throwing to another JJ, the arguably best wide receiver in the NFL, Jordan Addison, good wide receiver. TJ Hawkinson, just great weapons. This man is set up for success. Whether they end up having him sit a couple games behind Darnold or not, I don't think is going to end up mattering too much, because when you have this good of weapons, it's kind of a similar situation to what you were saying with Caleb. You give a quarterback good weapons, they're more likely to succeed than a quarterback throwing to nobody, i.e. Bryce Young last year. So have to say this guy is a winner based on that.
Yeah, hard to disagree. And on a personal note, it's very rare that the quarterback of my least favorite college football team goes on to quarterback my least favorite NFL team. So JJ McCarthy's staying right where he was, one of my least favorite players. No, I'm not rooting against him. I am rooting against him on the field, obviously, but like, he should be happy tonight. He's in a great situation.
Now, David, you don't have to make any choices tonight, but if you did, you were on the clock at the 107 in a Superflex league with a tight end premium. Brock Bowers is already off the board, and you're having to pick between JJ McCarthy and Rome Odunze. What is your immediate reaction after tonight?
I'd probably still take Odunze, but realistically, I'm trying to trade that pick at this point. So my second winner, I'm going with Marvin Harrison Jr., and I got to push back on you, Justin, saying you think Caleb moved up. I think they both had a great spot. Marv's paired with Kyler Murray now. He has very little target competition. What's not to love for his landing spot? You know, they both got exactly what you wanted.
I mean, I can't disagree. I think Kyler Murray is a great quarterback. And yeah, he gets a great spot, number 4 overall. Fantastic spot for him. My second winner is going to be Ricky Pearsall. Oh boy, I have loved Ricky Pearsall through the process, and when I saw his name in the first round, I had a lot of excitement. Ricky Pearsall, I mean, he gets a coach in Kyle Shanahan, who was amazing at getting his guys open. He doesn't really need the help as well. He's a great route runner. Brock Purdy, he's a young quarterback. You can project him to be a starter for a while. His draft capital, we didn't expect him to be round 1, too. So, yeah, there's 3, I think, upward trajectory points for him. But the one I would say is the wide receiver group is pretty stacked. But you have to think that Ayuk or Debo might be dealt with this pick of Ricky Pearsall. So, yeah, I think that if he's the wide receiver 2, in this scenario moving forward, yeah, he is a huge, huge winner in this process so far.
Yeah, you were not the only one who was jumping for joy when you saw his name go off the board. Just to put it up on the screen, I did a little pre-draft bet. I'll be honest, I didn't think it was going to hit, but I thought the odds were too good to pass up, so I put a $5 on it and turned it into 150 almost. So pretty happy.
Bigger winner, Ricky Pearsall or David? Only time will tell.
Well, if I could have his contract and give him my bet slip, I would. Let's just put it that way.
And my last winner, my guy, my rookie crush, Xavier Worthy. I am so excited to see him go to the Chiefs. You know, you have been hearing this potential landing spot. You've definitely heard people, especially like on X, maybe saying, oh, he'll be like the next Tyreek Hill. I will admit what JP says about he does not have the ability to like go ahead and like get the ball like a Tyreek Hill does. He is not the like physical type of guy that Tyreek Hill is. The fact that they traded up for him just shows that they have a plan for this guy, right? You don't trade up for him, and they know the warts on his profile. They know he's not as good against press potentially as, you know, it's something hopefully he can work on. He might have to bulk up a little bit, but they're going to get him open, right? This is Andy Reid. They're going to scheme him. They're going to use his skill set. That being said, of course, there's always a little bit of concern because we've had some issue with Chiefs' potentially talented, scheme-dependent, speedy wide receivers in the past. However, I love this guy. I'm stoked. Listen to our Rookie Crush episode in the description where I talk about him. Listen to our Polarizing Prospects in the description where I talk about this guy. I am so excited about this landing spot, guys. I am so excited. JP, I'm coming for that draft pick in Megalo Dynasty. I'm going to be making you trade offers for my boy now.
Sounds good. Let's talk some trade because I'm a little lower on Xavier Worthy. I do think that with how smart Andy Reid is at deploying his wide receivers. I mean, we saw with Rashee Rice, he was an ex-wide receiver at SMU, and they put him into the slot, and he was amazing there. I just think that if there's any coach outside of maybe Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, that is going to use Xavier Worthy to his best ability, it's probably going to be Andy Reid.
Yeah, that pre-snap motion that they used to have with Hill, that can be duplicated with Worthy. He's not going to be able to do everything that Hill did, but he'll be able to do that. You give him Hollywood Brown as well now. I mean, you could say Patrick Mahomes is a big winner, man. They had no receivers last year, and all of a sudden they've got a really good 3-pack.
I'm just stoked for that, 100%. So thank you for sticking around. Make sure to let us know in the comments who your winners and losers are. Go ahead and like and subscribe because we are going to be doing reactions all weekend to the NFL draft, planning a round 2 and 3, day 2 reaction video, planning a mock draft as well. So hit that subscribe so that you don't miss out on that. Let us know who you think are winners and losers in the comments, any other questions you have. So thank you for joining us for an exciting post-draft reaction video, another episode of Dino Construction Podcast. We hope this was as useful to you, as fun for you as it was for us, and from all of us here at Dino Construction. Until next time.